Hi everyone, welcome. FPLMattDay here, and this is my FPL best Salah and Son replacement picks video. If you're new here, just before we start the video, please subscribe to the channel, give the video a like, and get your comments in with any questions you have if you are a Son or Salah owner and are looking to replace them for game week 21 and beyond. So before I share my favorite picks, just a couple of notes. So the AFCON takes place from the 13th of January 2024 until the 11th of February 2024, meaning if Salah goes all of the way in the AFCON for Egypt, he will miss game weeks 21 to 24 for Liverpool, which does include that Bournemouth away fixture in game week 21. And then also with the Asia Cup, there is potential for, say, Son. So if you're a Son owner, to miss all the way up until the 11th of February as well, as these tournaments take place all the way up until game weeks 24 in February. There is also a third place playoff, I believe, in the AFCON as well, which could take place if Salah ends up playing for that one. He may come back for Liverpool, or he may even stay, try and get Egypt the third place. So there's plenty to think about from now until the next game week, which is game week 21. It is just over a week and a half away. There's an FA Cup break in between that as well. But this video is going to talk about the top 6 replacements as well. And this is just going to be for Salah and Son. We're not going to talk about replacements for the likes of Kudus, Anana, Benrahma, those types of players, Sarr, Basuma. It's going to be Son and Salah because they are the two big hitters and they are two of the main players in this game. So I want to go into my number 6 favorite picks. So I'm going to do a top 6 favorite players to replace Son and Salah. So I'll share screen. Let's go into it as usual. And I'll bring up my 6th favorite pick. So let's zoom in a little bit more there on the screen. And my 6th favorite pick is Saka. And a lot of people might think he'd be higher, 5.6 points per game in this time as well. The next few fixtures, there's a couple of green ones: Palace, Forest, 2 green fixtures for Arsenal, then Liverpool at home in game week 23. And obviously, if Son and Salah end up missing all the way until game week 24, then there's the West Ham away game for Saka. So you'd probably look at that and say 2 good fixtures. Palace, Saka has a good record against Palace. Forest away, that's become a tough fixture now with Nuno now in charge at Forest, which gives them that new manager boost. Liverpool at home again, another tough game. West Ham away, tough game. They beat Arsenal in the reverse fixture. Saka still getting 5.6 points per game, but for 9 million, you're not getting huge amounts of pocket change to replace both players if you're looking to replace both. So for me, he is the 6th best pick, in my opinion. Good fixtures, consistent with some of his returns, but again, he's not been as good as what we're normally used to him being in terms of his goal return. So number 6 for me is Bukayo Saka. So let's move in now. We'll put this into to midfielders as well, so then it's relevant towards your Son and Salah replacements. And we're going to go down here just a little bit further into Pascal Gross, only 3.9% selected, 4.6 points per game, but 6.4 million. So if you're looking to move on both Salah and Son, this could be an option if you can do sort of a double move. And this is a very good budget option. You can see on screen there recent scores: 12 points against Brentford in game week 15, 7 points against Burnley in game week 16, 7 points against Palace in game week 18. So there's been some solid returns of late from Pascal Gross, and the fixtures that Brighton have in the absence of Son and Salah is Wolves at home, Luton away, Palace at home, which is 3 green fixtures, Spurs away, who they did just score 4 goals against, and then if you keep them beyond that, you've got Sheffield United, Everton, Fulham, Forest. So this pick in mind is for a long-term pick for those managers that aren't looking to use an early wild card. So really strong pick in my opinion at 3.9% owned and 6.4 million as well. So that's my 5th favourite pick. We'll go into number 4. So we'll go down again to this one, number 4. So he has got less points currently than the likes of Saka and Gross, but he goes in at number 4. Richarlison, 7% owned, 4.3 points per game. He's on really good form right now. As you can see there, in his last 5 games, he's returned 8 points against Bournemouth, only the one against Brighton, but we know how many opportunities he had in that game. 8 points against Everton, 9 against Forest, and the big 15-point haul against Newcastle, 6.9 million. He is probably one of my favourites if you're looking to replace Son. It's an easy sideways move. Very highly likely going to take penalties for Spurs in Son's absence as well. Very good price in that centre forward role. So again, he is one of those players that's classified as a midfielder, but he's actually out of position because he is a striker, a centre forward for Spurs, and he is pretty much guaranteed to start every game in this time away. Manchester United away, always a tough fixture for Spurs, but United concede goals. They've not been on the best of form. Richarlison's also going to have that penalty threat as well. Brentford home. Brentford haven't been on the best form. Home fixture for Spurs. You'd probably back them in that one. Everton away, again, tough game, but Richarlison scored in the reverse fixture. And then Brighton home, who I mentioned before, he had plenty of chances in the previous game against them. So some pretty good fixtures for Richarlison. And then followed a couple of green fixtures after that if you keep him long term. So Richarlison is my 4th favourite pick. So we'll now go into my 3rd favourite pick, which, again, good replacement for either Son or Salah. And it's going even further down. And again, it's because this is a player that's just come back from injury, and he's sort of only just started to find those minutes and those returns. And it's a good sideways moves for Salah. It's Diogo Jota here, 2.1% owned currently, 4.1 points per match, purely because he hasn't played too many minutes this season. 7.7 million. But if you have a look at that, in his last 2 games, minutes played, 26 minutes played against Newcastle, 2 assists with 7 points, 6 minutes played against Burnley, grabbing 6 points in that one with a goal. Very likely to start in the team now in the absence of Salah. And again, a midfielder who will be playing likely through the middle or on the left or on the right of a front 3. So he's another out of position midfielder playing or striker, classified as a midfielder. Liverpool's fixtures, Bournemouth away, they're doing well, but they still, have the ability to ship goals against the bigger teams. Chelsea home, usually a really tough fixture, but Chelsea haven't been on great form this season. Arsenal away, tough game, but they've been letting goals in lately. They've lost a couple of games, followed by Burnley home in game week 24. So some really good potential for Jota if he can stay fit. And he's number 3 because I think it's a great sideways move to give you that Liverpool coverage as well. They are top of the league. So you do want to try and cover yourself with a couple of Liverpool players as well. So let's go into my 2nd pick. I'm going to go back towards the first page where there's been higher point scorers so far, more consistent point scorers, I'd say. And Cole Palmer, if you don't own him already, 5.4 points per game, 27.1% selected, only 5.7 million. Fixtures here in the absence of Salah and Son look pretty good. I know I spoke about Chelsea underperforming, but Palmer isn't underperforming. He's also on pens. He's got a strong eye for goal. Fulham home, followed by Liverpool away, Wolves home, and Palace away. And all it really takes for Palmer is him to get a return in a couple of those games, and you get some pretty good bang for your buck out of Cole Palmer. We'll go back into his history here. Big haul against Luton in game week 20. Was banned against Palace, so didn't play. Wolves away, was very unlucky not to grab a return. And then 14 points in the home game against Sheffield United before. And you can see that 8-point score there in game week 15. So when he scores, he tends to score big. I think he's becoming a bit of a necessity now. We've seen what a good player and signing he's been for Chelsea. So for me, he is that number 2 pick. But here it is, my number 1 Son and Salah replacement. And it is the top scoring FPL midfielder outside of Salah and Son. 31.1% selected, 111 points. It's Jared Bowen. And just before I talk about them, if you go in here, you can see Son and Salah, 156 points, 136 points. So 156 for Salah, 136 for Son. Shows you how crucial they are in this game for our weekly points tallies. When Bowen is on 111 and is the third highest scoring midfielder. There is a big gap between Bowen and Son, and then even Son and Salah. There's a 20-point difference there. But like I mentioned, Bowen, 8 million, so he's a good price. You swap him for, say, Salah, you're getting some good change to still get a second player in. 31.1% owned, so his ownership is getting higher and higher. 5.8 points per game. We'll go into some of his recent form as well. Only the 3 points against Brighton, but he got 6 against Arsenal, 8 against Man United, 8 against Wolves, only the 2 against Fulham, but then 7 against Spurs. And yeah, he's a very, very consistent asset for West Ham. Penalty taker as well. And his fixtures during the AFCON and Asia Cup for West Ham are 2 green fixtures with Sheffield United away, Bournemouth home, followed by Manchester United away, who haven't been on the greatest form. So again, is that really a red fixture right now? And then even Arsenal at home, they beat them in the reverse fixture. So that's a very tasty fixture for Bowen, followed by a bunch of really good games. Green games there. Look, 3 in the next 4 after that as well. So he's a season keeper. He's a long-term hold. So consistent. Best scoring player outside of Salah and Son. So he has to be that number 1 pick for me in the absence of Son and Salah. So there you have it. They are my top 6 best Salah and Son replacement picks for Game Week 21 to potentially Game Week 24. As I mentioned, these players could return earlier depending on how their teams perform in the AFCON and the Asia Cup. So keep an eye on both tournaments. Watch them as well. They're going to be great tournaments to watch with lots of players represented from the Premier League as well. Before I finish, if you are new here, please hit the subscribe button. Be sure to like the video and get your comments in with any questions or thoughts ahead of the Game Week 21 to 24 period. I'll leave it there. Thanks to everyone that's tuned in. I really appreciate all of your support, and I'll see you all in the next one. I'm FPLMattDay. Bye for now.